This is one of the first prototypes we did early on in the design process, and it was related to onboarding and device setup. We knew there were going to be a bunch of different steps that needed to go in a particular order, and after you get into flows that are more than 5 to 10 screens long, having even a rough prototype is much better. And while this prototype only shows the happy path, it allowed us to iron things out with the client much more effectively. To provide additional context before I begin, this is typically a setup that takes place in a doctor's office where a nurse or doctor is right next to the patient, helping them through the process. The first screen they'll see is the end user license agreement. Upon reading that, they'll click accept. The second step is discover and pair, and the basic instructions for placing their implant into discoverable mode are displayed here. And at this point, the nurse or doctor has already done this for the patient. So the patient's going to tap search for HF10 implant. The phone initiates a search for the implant. The implant has been discovered and is listed on this screen. If there are more than one, for instance, if a patient is in the next room going through the same process at the exact same time, both would show up, and we differentiate them by serial number. Patient taps pair was selected, and the device is pairing. Upon success, the device runs self-diagnostics and registration takes place. Once those are done, the patient continues to personalization. We ask for their first name, but they can choose to skip that if they don't want to provide it. The pain areas for any patient are based on where along their spinal cord the leads from their implant have been surgically placed. This screen illustrates visually what their target areas are. Because many patients who have opted to have the spinal cord simulator implanted are bedridden or severely debilitated, we ask them what they want to be free to do, whether it be walking the neighborhood, doing Pilates, hiking, etc. This will be used later on when engaging the patient for feedback on their pain journey. At this point, the patient clicks next. We prompt them to allow for notifications. Patient clicks next, and then OK to enable notifications. To secure the app and prevent accidental changes to their therapy settings, we prompt them to also enable Touch ID, Face ID, a PIN, or whatever biometric features are on their specific phone. And upon completion, they're presented with the HF10 home screen, which concludes the set of user flows for onboarding and device setup.